Hello, YouTube. Happy Thanksgiving Day. Well, as you see, I'm getting ready. I'm preparing. A turkey's in the oven. I want to talk about Greenleaf. The finale is season 3, episode 13. I got to tell you, Greenleaf, you know I love you. I love your writers. You're the only series I'm currently following where I watch it every week. And I won't review this one. The only show I review. But I got to tell you something. God is not pleased with you. Let me change that. God and me, or God and I, are not pleased with you, Greenleaf. Man, this should have ended last week. When Basic came to that door and pointed their gun at that man's head, you guys could have wrapped it up right there. This episode, I'm sorry to say, it was very disappointing to me. Now, I'll grant you that a lot of it could be because of my anticipation, because things had been going so well and it had been building up so good that I was expecting a big bang at the end. But, well, let's just see. Okay, also, I was not able to watch it again this morning because OWN, again, has not put their show up immediately the next day. This has happened 2 or 3 times through this, so there's no pattern to it. Maybe it'll be on later, but you guys would have lost interest by then, so I'll try to do it now. It opens up with Skanks is holding his gun on the Bishop. Bishop is talking him down, telling him he's not a killer. Right, Skanks is there all nervous. He must have been awful close to his daddy. This thing happened how many years ago? He had to be a child. Anyway, he's got this vendetta. It comes to a climax. Now he's going to blow the man away. As he's holding the gun on him and telling him that prepare to reach your maker, this girl, what's her name? Corinne comes in, the secretary. He immediately turns the gun on Corinne. Bishop continues to talk. He lets her leave. Basically lets her leave. What kind of murder is this when you let the eyewitness leave to go and tell everybody else? What is wrong with the lights going in and out? Anyway, Bishop says, don't call the police. Tells basically, we're not going to involve the cops. You can let this go, walk away from it. Because, bottom line, Bishop did cause his father's death. So maybe he has more compassion for his situation. But some of these wrap-ups. So basically just turns around and walks out. That's it. We only see but basically one more time in this series. And Lord, my light is just going, Jesus, going dark and light. Everything is messed up because of this damn scaffolding. Okay, hold on. Okay, I got to have my glasses because I can't see. All right. Corinne, instead of going to the cops, which she said she wouldn't, she goes and she tells Lady May. Lady May and some other family members, maybe Grace, come in on the situation. Bishop's laid out on the floor. He collapsed. And basically he's gone. Right. So Lady May is starting to finally soften to her husband. Which I still think that whole divorce of theirs is a mystery. Because I don't know why she's divorcing him. She committed much more egregious sins than he did, in my opinion. To keep the secret that that girl wasn't his daughter for 30-something years. Anyway. Lady May and Maxine are under the impression that she preached so well that it's in the bag. She's going to be the new head of the church. Right? That's what they think. Now see, okay, I'm going to put my complaints in here since it's the last episode and y'all kind of let me down on this one. Some of the things that confused me. Okay, so all this time, Bishop was thinking he was going to take the church back. He's telling May, no, you got to go. I'm taking the church back. She's under the impression she's going to give her a big speech and then she's going to take over the church. At the same time, Connie, the head deacon, she's planning to do a whole different thing and not use either one of them and hire Grace as a temp interim pastor as she signs off to this other company. Harmony and Hope, right? It's all confusing. I mean, does one hand know what the other hand is doing? I don't know that it was wrapped up that well in this episode. Okay. Carissa and Jacob. Okay. Carissa and Jacob, they have this. This is one of the ones I didn't like. Scenes I didn't like. All of a sudden, Carissa was so set on divorce. Although I don't know how serious she was. She just announced it last week. Behind this kiss of his. Well, they decided, let's just stay together. They have a little love-making scene. So it's a lot of kumbaya in here. A lot of tying up storylines, which I think was unnecessary. You could have left some of them open and just closed it. I still believe this series could have ended last week. But if they're in a contract for 13 episodes, that's probably what happened. Because it had such a momentum building up to this. I even said in my last review that I thought the last 3, those 2 and this one, could have been a part 1, 2, and 3 of the finale. But 1 and 2 were great. Last one fell off. Now, I understand how this can happen. There's many times when I've been watching the movie and enthralled in the whole movie. And then at the last part of the damn movie, they just throw everything together like they're in a rush to get home to dinner or something like that. Same thing with books. It's nothing more frustrating for me than spending days and days reading the book. And at the end of the book, it just drops off. They just kill somebody and it's over, or it's just an abrupt ending. It's very hard to do those endings. Even in my own writing, I find that I could have a whole story thing, but when it comes to time to wrap it up, it's like you just get too much of a rush. This isn't like a rush job or an add-on. Maybe they had to come up with another episode to fulfill their contracts. Let's see. Okay, so their divorce is over, right? Just as abruptly as it started, their discussion of divorce is done. After they come to that conclusion, Jacob gets a call from, he comes back to tell Carissa, the bastard just took Triumph. We get no explanation as to what the hell he's talking about. We thought that the Triumph was already in trouble because the money was missing. But did somebody come in now and buy Triumph? Or basically he's on his way out of the country, so he wouldn't have an interest in it. And who is the bastard? The bastard just took Triumph from us. No explanation. No detail about what actually happened there or how they did it. I know this thing was complicated the way Basie and his sister Rochelle were trying to, ruin both churches. But at the end, they just took the money and left. What was their big plan? It's not explained. All right, so Jacob got a call from the accountant. So are they saying that the accountant is the one that took their church? We don't know. It's left in the open. Bishop, hold on a second. Sorry, people. I have a delicate condition in my throat. Don't think things like that. Scratchy throat. Okay. Bishop decides that he's had enough. He says, May, I guess he heard some of the sermon. She said, you're a leader, and I am going to give Calvary to you. He surrenders the church to May. She's happy. Like she won. Or so she thinks. The plot thickens. But as far as he's concerned, he's surrendering. He don't want to fight anymore. Right. Harmony and Hope meets with Grace to tell her, the executives from Harmony and Hope, about their plans to take over Calvary. They don't work this out with Connie. Lady May suggests later on in a meeting that Connie must be getting paid by these people to make this deal happen. Right. They giving Connie an awful lot of power in this thing. It seems like the bishop and Lady Mae, they don't call any shots at all. I thought they were the pastors. So maybe I'm learning something in this thing. Anyway, they said that they want Grace to take over the church in order to preach, but just as a bridge over the next year. Now, we already know what's going to happen next season. Grace is going to be fighting to keep this church, but at least you have a foot in the door. That's the thinking. She's already starting to show disdain for these people, right? Next thing is she tells them she'll think about it. She goes and tells Lady Mae about it, what happened, about the offer. And Mae goes off on her because Mae said, why didn't you tell them no right off the top? Why didn't you tell them no? What do you mean you think about it? Think about what? What is Mae expecting loyalty from this girl for? I don't know. In real life, I doubt this girl would even be speaking to Miss Lady Mae. The way she's treated her, she treated her this way as an adult. You can imagine what it was like as a child, a hated child, a resented child. Anyway, so this she goes off on her. As Grace is walking away, she drops the bomb. She said, Lionel and I, we got the DNA test. I guess Mae doesn't even know the real parentage. She could have found out at any point, but she didn't want to know really. Lionel is indeed Grace's father. They just give us Lady Mae like, it's a slight acknowledgement, and that's it. All right. Next thing we see is the Connie. Which one came first? At some point, Lady Mae offers Bishop to come home. Now, they haven't got a divorce last week, so I don't know how much time passes between the weeks, but they just got a divorce, right? Divorce has been finalized. Now she's inviting him home to live with her. Now, are they going to live in sin? What the hell is going on here? The divorce never made any sense to me, but now they are wrapping it up like they're back together. He's invited back to the house. He says he'll only come on the condition that he'll fix things, that she'll fix things with Grace. So I guess they're all gonna live in this big house together, and nobody got a job. Well, Grace got one for a year. That's where they're leaving it. But for them to just come together like that, if there would have been a dramatic scene, maybe when he had his heart attack and collapsed, perhaps. But just for them to go from divorce to the next week back together, I just think that writing here is lazy. These people, it's like I told you, read a book, hundreds of pages, weeks spent reading a book. You get to the end and you're just like, what happened? What? Okay. We got this big meeting with the family and Connie. Connie has been working with Harmony and Hope. Why can't they just fire Connie? There's got to be some kind of provision. Why are you letting the bishop and the first lady being bossed around by this woman? She is the great poobah. At one point in this thing, she was wanting to quit and they talked her out of it. Maybe they can't just directly fire her because she's on the board, but there's got to be a way that they could use their power or their influence to fight against this woman. They act like Connie is the king. Anyway, she's meeting with these people, and Lady Mae saying, no, she's taking over the church. She's going to be the pastor. Connie says, no, we don't want you or your husband. You both can leave. I guess they offer some kind of severance. And that Lady Mae, she gives her little speech and it goes back and forth. Connie pulls out this big, thick thing. This big folder of a petition with thousands of signatures from the people, congregation, stating they want her out. They want her out, they want him out, and they want Harmony and Hope in. And I'll be fact-checking my ass off. Each one of those people would be interviewed. This Connie is a snake. She should have been fired. However you get rid of a deacon, a head deacon, it should have been done. Okay. Because they've known this is happening for a while. They had time to get rid of her. So the church wants her out too. Mays, this is where she makes her statement that Connie's probably getting kickbacks for making this happen. Why is she so invested in this Harmony and Hope taking over their church? So was Harmony and Hope going to come in and just pay the taxes and then it'd be their church? Or what? So next strange scene. May tells Bishop about this secret she's had for 30 some odd years. I think Gigi's probably 36 or something like that. 35. She tells him, and he has no reaction to it. Okay. What? Okay, girl. You should have ended it last week. Okay. He tells her he has no response. They're trying to wrap up all of these storylines, and they don't have time to be sitting up here working any detail. But they could have just wrapped up a couple of them and left the other ones hanging, in my opinion. She tells him he has no reaction. He basically says, okay. All right, Aaron shows up. And this was one of the prize-winning dumb scenes to me. They do this in drama, especially TV drama, all the time. Aaron shows up, tells Grace that the father he went to the reading of the will, and his father has left her $3 million. $3 million. What was the tax debt? $3 million. He left her $3 million and left him nothing. And he doesn't seem to give a shit. I don't want his money. They always say that on television. But everybody knows as soon as somebody dies, everybody wants the money. Particularly $3 million. Him and Kevin is living in a little apartment. I'm sure they could use $3 million. But no, he gives it to her. And then next scene later, she goes to the bishop and she says, oh, I inherited $3 million. I'm giving it to you. I don't want it. Nobody wants the $3 million. Church, the income from the church is coming to a halt. Nobody wants the $3 million, so she gives it to him. We get no explanation as to what he's supposed to do with the money. Is the tax debt still owed? Would he pay the taxes? Would that put him back in the church? Or why would you give it to him? He doesn't even talk about the tax debt anymore. So when they raided the place, we don't have any information what this dude was going to do with her money. She's going to be broke again, I guess. Go live in one of the rooms in the mansion. How they're going to maintain the mansion, no one knows because ain't nobody got no money. Rochelle took off with all their personal money. That huge estate has got to be somehow cared for. And she gives her $3 million to him. There's no mention of him paying any more taxes. To me, it would have been a smarter idea if she had $3 million cash to just go and buy the damn church. If you can't buy it straight out, I'm sure that'd be one hell of a down payment on the church. One of them, they could have saved something, but just go and give it to the government, there's nothing then. Lionel might as well kept the money to himself and took it in the grave with him. All right, so that's another dumb thing. I'm not going to hold back as well what I consider is not right, bad writing on this. Okay, Grace. Oh, this Basie Skanks thing. Lord have mercy. Okay. So now Basie Skanks and his sister Rochelle have went through this elaborate scheme all season. to ruin the Greenleafs, right? Take their church and Triumph. Take Triumph back. But now they're on the run. They just go to get a suitcase. They just got the money that they got from, they were able to steal from Triumph and from Bishop. So I guess they got a couple of $2-3 million. And they're going for the border, right? They show Basie at a convenience store, talking to Tasha on the phone. He's telling Tasha where to meet him. Tasha says, no way, I'm not going. I made a deal with the FBI and I can stay, I won't be harmed. Now, okay, here we go again. I'm just trying to be honest, people. I still love the show. I'm just critical of this episode. Okay. She just told this man, who has just stolen $3 million, heading for the border. She has just told him that she's going to cooperate with the FBI. Come on, baby. Okay, see you later. That's it. That is it. He got no reaction. Nothing. He doesn't even raise his voice, as this woman just told him that she's going to work with the FBI. Against who? Against him. He's the one that stole the money. Him and Rochelle. If nothing else, Rochelle would have been wanting to go there and murder her or bury her or do something with her. No response. She just drops that, and that's the end. No more. We see no more Tasha. She's gone. She just says she's going to the FBI. Basically, he's in the gas station. As he's in the gas station, he goes to the counter to pay for something. He looks up, and there's this enormous man behind him. They make eye contact. Takes him a minute, but he looks back at his man, and he knows what time it is. The man is there to get him. I cannot imagine how much money he lost gambling, where he cannot pay these people off. He got $3 million in his car. How much gambling did you do, dude? Anyway, so I guess what the storyline is suggesting that he owes these people so much money that they're out to kill him. But we don't get any detail on that. We see Basie come out of the place. Rochelle's waiting in the car. He jumps in the car, tells her to take off. She takes off. The gangster takes off. And that's it. We don't see no more Basie. No conclusion, no explanation, no nothing. We don't even see the gorilla accost him or approach him or do something to him. Or Rochelle pull a gun out of the gun compartment and shoot him. Whatever. All that drama, I guess, will be left for the next season. But that was some sloppy writing there. For him to just, the way he just drifts in and drifts out, you know, he's only been here for a couple episodes this whole season. So now he's gone. I guess his big plan is gone. Why did he pull a gun on the bishop and going to want to kill him if his big plan had come to fruition? If the big plan didn't come to fruition, shouldn't we have had a scene that says that, okay, everything is messed up, it didn't come out right? No. They just grabbed the money anyway. Okay. So that's the last we see of Basie or Tasha. They're taking off down the highway, and this big dude's behind them. Okay. Bishop gives his last sermon. He explains that he's stepping down. Did he say the maid's going to take over? I don't remember. But anyway, after he gives his big sermon, they all know that he's going because they all signed petitions, apparently, to get rid of him. But they're clapping, giving him a send-off, and he collapses right after the sermon. All the family members run to the stage, and Bishop says, no, this is it. I had a vision. This is my last days. So we're left with the impression that the bishop is dead. That's what we're left to believe, right? Except, now this is a kind of clever, this is a good little scene. Okay, except that, okay. They're having a big dinner for the whole family. We're under the impression that this is like a wake. But I was asking myself, why everybody smiling? What are you happy about? The bishop is dead, your daddy's dead, your husband's dead. It's set up for dinner. And now he comes to the head of the table again. So I guess him and May have made up. He's back amongst the family. He wants her back living in the house with her. Anyway, kumbaya. You know, everybody's back together. Jacob and his wife back together. Grace and they didn't bring her boyfriend in, but Bishop and Lady May, they're back together in one scene. All of the leading episodes to this, one scene, come home, baby. That's it. Okay, so here's our cliffhanger. Grace prays, and in her prayer, she prays over the blessing of the table, right? Everybody's there, including Kevin and Aaron. She says she asks God to lead them as they take back what belongs to them. So this is the setup. Now they got to fight to get the church back, to get at least Calvary back. I don't know about what's going on with Triumph. It's never explained. So that's what they did for wrap up. As I said, I believe they could have ended this last week. I think this last episode was add-on. Maybe contracts had to be fulfilled. I don't know. Things weren't tied up tidily. If I didn't know better, I'd say somebody else wrote the last episode. But I just hate to see it go out like that. I look forward to seeing it next season. They're great writers, though. I don't know what happened here. But all right, people. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your turkey or your chitlings or your pig feet or whatever you do, honey. Enjoy it. All right.